spend a few minutes talking about the season, but I'd like to introduce a few people and ask them to speak. And would you please welcome Dr. Stephen Jambor, President of the Brewster Board of Education. Dr. Stephen Moskowitz, our Assistant Superintendent for Human Resources and Technology. Dr. Joseph Casacola, Principal of Brewster High School. Mr. Kieran Snack and Mrs. Danielle Sullivan, Assistant Principals of Brewster High School. I'd like to thank our Board of Education and District Office Administration, High School Administration for their support. We are really fortunate to have great groups of people behind us and supporting us. And before I talk about the athletes, there's some people that I'd like to thank in no particular order on behalf of the coaches and the athletes. First of all, to transportation. Mr. Jack Coxon, Sergio Alfonso, Ms. Leonore Volpe. These fine folks appreciate, I appreciate their help, their cooperation, their flexibility, changing buses, sending 10 out at a time for us, and they always get us there safely. Also to operations and maintenance, Mr. Andy Bates, Mr. Ken Winch, the gentlemen of our grounds crew. They're very cooperative to work with. They work hard to get our fields, to get our gyms ready for our games, and make them safe for our athletes. So we appreciate that. I'd like to thank Doris Shukin and a lot of our chaperones who help us organize the game personnel and make sure our tickets are taken correctly, and a few other people. Mr. Con Wood, the ladies and gentlemen of the Varsity Club, for their efforts this evening. They do a lot of hard work getting this prepared. And the athletic secretary is Mrs. Helen Pilkman, who helps me on a daily basis with everything that goes on in our department. So thanks to all. This fall has been a change for us. We have new opponents, a new league structure, new requirements. We have new places to travel, some old places to travel. We have a higher level of competition than we faced. Through all of the change, one thing remained a constant, and that was the strong effort of Brewster High School athletes. Our athletic teams continue to work hard, be determined, and have the will to succeed, no matter what challenge is in front of them. We have had several teams qualify and represent us at the state sectional play, and we have one young man who is qualified to represent us in the state championship coming up this weekend. In addition, we continue to understand that we can do more. Several teams have raised money in the cause against disease. One team has even spent time with a group of third graders, which I've received some great news about. And if you live in my chair, you don't always receive great news. But I'd like to congratulate all of you this evening. I challenge all of our athletes to raise their game to another level to surpass our competitors. Thank you to all of you sitting out there, the moms and the dads, for the late dining hours, driving to and from practices at all hours of the day or night. And I'm very proud of our athletes and their representation of Brewster High School this season. And now, with that, it is time to meet our junior varsity athletes. And I'm going to call upon Mr. Jerry Walsh and Mr. Keith Allen for JV football.
Played here at Brewster. He's back and volunteered his time. Steve Nardini, got here tonight. I'd like to thank Kyle Woods and the Varsity Club for putting this all together. Our parents, again, I say this any time I get up here, very supportive. Travel well. Wherever we go, it seems like we have more fans in the home. So it's great to be in a supportive community. The administration is very supportive. One quick thing. We had a situation, second game of the season, We only have one bus. There were no bus drivers. I went up to the principal's office and took the back to see and said, "Never been on a bus. We can get there." Made a phone call. All of a sudden, we had a bus. Called the mechanic out of the garage and drove the bus in. So the support we get is tremendous. I always enjoy coaching with Coach Allen and our varsity coaches. The way it works in football is we play the same schedule, and the varsity coaches watch a lot of film and kind of get a game plan, pass that on to us, they set up plays, what the team runs. Anytime we have any questions, we just go to the varsity guys. So I'd like to thank those guys. JV, we had a very memorable season. It's very tough to go undefeated. You know, at some point you have letdowns. So it's a very tough thing to do. These guys worked hard in practice and enjoyed game days. Great group to coach. We had 58 guys on the team. And at the end of the season, we still had 58 guys. So it was great. Physical sport like football, you know, you get some injuries during the season. Other guys stepped up. So again, I take my hats off to these guys. They worked real hard. And just a great bunch to coach. I'm looking through the program. I'm not sure they can get the font any smaller for the JV football. So I'm going to call on young Coach Allen to read off the names.
As I call the names, please stand, but hold your applause until we get all players. Kenneth Arias, William Banks, Michael Bonadonna, Nicholas Carina, Joseph Castellano, Tim Castellano, Marshall Cook, Manuel Costales, Kevin Cadieres, Christian Crandall, Cole Crandall, Derek Diaz, Luke DiBiase, Nick Dermer, Thomas Earl, Mike Urkel, Daria Figueroa, Robert Valenella, Jason Gonch, Jack Guida, Dylan Gusler, Owen Ham, Kevin Hines, Ryan Jackson, Scott Jacobson, Justin Jimenez, Luke Junga, William Kaler, Sean Kelly, Vincent Lau, Cole Lambert, Matt Laporte, Clayton Livingston, Alex Domenico, Ryan Lynch, Derek Mack, Mike Milagna, Louis Martin, Tim Meisner, Ethan Miller, Mike Monty, Joshua Nelson, Andrew Noche, Michael Akamola, Nicholas Pfeiffer, Robert Pfeiffers, Duncan Russell, Charles Sawicki, Damian Schwebler, Nicholas Squazzaro, Nicholas Sheehan, Nicola Deshawn Cirinella, Christopher Sawicki, Brian Spelman, Tito Suarez, Jared Turconia, Christopher Torioni, Dominic Triola. Like Coach Wall said, we did go undefeated. It was a long season. It was a great season. A lot of memorable moments. The boys played their heart out. Can't thank the varsity coaches and the administration enough. Had the thought of not even losing the game either season is something that, as us coaches, we dreamed for, but we never thought would come true. And it came true for these boys this year. And I think we all owe them a round of applause. All right, we have 2 awards to give out tonight. 2 awards. They're both MVP Coaches Awards. These two gentlemen exemplify what it means to be a Brewster athlete, what it means to be a Brewster student athlete, correct myself, what to play with a lot of passion, a lot of pride, and do everything that's asked of them on and off the field. They set the example and the tone at practice, and they did the exact same thing on game day, and they gave everything of themselves to see their team succeed. And our two MVPs this year are Jack Rita and Derek Diaz. University Girls Soccer. It was just the end of the job.
Thank you, coaches. Our next team, just girls junior varsity soccer. Coach Jesse and Brewster, come on up.
Interesting start, and I think Coach Brother should be out there also. He coached for the first half of the season, so the girls had a wonderful season. They grew and they excelled at each goal that they had, and I can't be any more proud of each and every one of them. But I must say they are the spunkiest, most entertaining group of girls I've ever met. You're definitely a crowd you would want to be around if you're upset. They definitely put a smile on your face for every game, even if they're losing. They always went out with poise, and they always had a lot of respect, and I respect them for that. And they always represented the school in a very classy way. We have 2 awards. Oh, I gotta introduce them. Girls, stand up when I call your name. Caitlin, Megan, please hold your applause. Brianna, Marissa, Catherine, Maggie, Sadie, Ellie, Sophia, Sophie, Mackenzie, Ariana, Danielle, Angela, Marina, and Kristen. We have 2 awards, and this award is going to a player that really excelled in literally every position. She would come up and she would say something a little quirky to me, and she'd be like, "Coach, where am I going?" And I would tell her, and she would go exactly to that spot. She always excelled in her area, but she also always wanted to learn every position of the game and on the field. She was a leader on the field and off the field. And she also had a wonderful, wonderful game against Somers as a goalie, but I think where she excelled the most was when she plays on the field. The most valuable player is going to go to Ellie.
Award winner goes to the young lady who did an excellent job this season. Her work ethic in practice as well as in games was an example to all of her teammates. It is our hope that with continued practice and hard work, that this player will be a positive member of the soccer program during her years at Brewster High School. Congratulations to Angela Nicole Rivera. next team to be recognized is Junior Varsity Boys Soccer, Coach Mr. Dominic Correa.
Good evening, parents, faculty, athletes. It's to see. Okay, so this year the JV soccer boys, JV soccer had a tough task. A young team made out of mostly freshmen. Everyone on the team gave their best effort to achieve positive results. We had a slow start by mid-season. We started improving our game and started scoring goals. Goals were swiftly, we were playing hard to get the ball, behind the back of the net. We also had 103 shots on goal. Everyone from the forward, midfield, even defense line contributed to the total of the goals. Every game was a learning experience. Our biggest accomplishment was this season was at home playing against Haldane, which is one of the largest schools in Westchester, and we took a win of 6-0, so it's a big accomplishment. You can clap your hands for that. We didn't have many wins, but the wins were very convincing. On that particular game, 5 different players scored goals in that particular game, so it was a total of a team effort. While everyone gave the best effort, there were two players that really stand out this year. Oh, sure. Let me just call it right in. JV boys, stand up, please. Stand up. Arnold Peter, Chris Blazer, Brandon Brooks, Andrew Casal, Michael Charbonneau, Stephen DaCosta, Aiden Helsrob, Danny Espana, Paul Farrell, John Garahan, he goes by the name of Jack, Ryan Lenahan, Kevin Lopez, Aiden McCullough, Christopher McCarthy, James McCormick, Sean Levin, Salvatore Pagnotta, Matthew Panagrosa, Andre Rivera, and Matthew Sicchione. First award goes to a player, a freshman forward who finished the season with 10 goals and 5 assists. He's a hard worker up front, great energy, speed, and hunger for goals. Please give a round of applause to Michael Charbonneau. And this was the Coach's Award. A second award goes to a player which is defender in the back. He's a sophomore, one of our captains. Always gives 110% in the back line. He's very disciplined, always ready to step up to the plate and take charge to help his teammate. He's got a positive attitude, great motivator during practice and often on the field. Please give a big hand of applause to Jack Garahan. I also want to say thank you to Mr. Scott, Coach Patusik for helping the team during the tryouts and getting ready for the season. Thank you.
We're going to skip ahead and we're going to save our cross country. And I'd like to call on our junior varsity volleyball coach, Ms. Sarah.
With some thank yous. I want to thank administration, Mr. Berardo and Helen for all their support and hard work. Big shout out to the parents. Thank you for all your driving to games, practices, picking them up, everything that you do.
I want to thank our trainer, Justin, who worked with the girls 2 days a week to build up their strength. He put up with a lot with them. I also want to say a huge thank you to our varsity coach, Alicia Cavallo. I had to rush over here every day, and she was great with just making sure the girls were ready for me when I came over here, and for all of her support and friendship. At this time, I'd like to announce my players. Girls, please stand, and if you could please hold your applause to the end. Brianna Ariana, Julia Barsari, Stephanie Boudreau, Francesca Chiaffi, Grace Coughlin, Kelly Dovey, Grace Harrison, Michaela Kohler, Karen Lennox, Eliana Matias, Amanda Mejia, Nancy Najjar, Nicole Rosner, and Liz Tabanikis. As you can see, they're a very spirited bunch over there. Over the past few years, I've helped out with the volleyball program in a couple different ways. I've volunteered my time, I've coached modified, but this is my first year coaching JV volleyball. And I'm glad that I had the opportunity. I loved rushing out of work every day and coming here. It was great to just be able to hit balls at them and work them hard out there. We ended the season with a record of 10-9, and we competed with some of the top teams in the area. I was very proud of them, each of the players, and how far they've come since that first day of preseason in August. I have 2 awards to give to tonight. My first award is a Most Improved Coaches Award. This player, you know, I really did enjoy coming to practice every day, and I knew as soon as I saw her, there would be a smile on her face. She worked hard every day. She improved as the season went on. She's always the first to jump up and help, and just is really a positive influence on our team. And that award goes to Brianna. Okay, my second award is my Most Valuable Player Award. This player was just so consistent for me throughout the season. She was a captain for us. She was consistent with her serves, her hits, passes, and she definitely led the team by example. She's someone that just every day came to play, worked hard, and wanted to be better. She ended the season with 52 aces, 42 digs, 64 kills, and 5 blocks. So my MVP this year is Nicole Rosner. Thank you.
Our next program to be recognized, Junior Varsity Field Hockey Coach Ms. Maria DiRobertis.
Good evening. A coaching philosophy I had this season was to always be yourself, try your best, and to always focus on improving your skills. The girls did this in tremendous fashion. They were always true to themselves on and off the field. Caring, patient, comical, determined, and eager, which made our team who they were. One game I would like to quickly highlight from our season was the Yorktown game. It was midway through our season. Before the game, we went around in a circle, and had set individual goals. I heard a lot of, I'm going to be aggressive this game, score a goal, do a pull, keep my stick down, work together, look up, and communicate. Our girls also explained that this was the game they were going to win. Throughout this game, the girls instilled all their goals together. They hit, hustled, and certainly never quit. Unfortunately, we lost the game, but the energy coming off the field, you would have never guessed that. Even though our season was 2-13-1, the end result is just numbers. It is not a true definition of our season. I'm thankful grateful to have the chance to coach this group, and I look forward to the next season's challenges. I would like to announce the hardworking team, JV field hockey. We have Grace, Leah, Madison, Juliana, Carly, Yana, Emily, Ruby, Michaela, Isabella, Jacqueline, Antoinette, Kayan, Jacqueline, Mary, Haley, Krista, Samantha, and Avery. Two awards I would like to give out tonight are for two very hardworking girls throughout this season. The most improved player should go to every player. They all improved immensely throughout the season. However, this one girl who has never played before the season and worked very hard to advance herself each practice and game. Antoinette Guerrero. Antoinette is an amazing field hockey player. No matter where it was on the field, she did not care and was eager to get the ball down the field to score. Mid-season, I changed her position from defense to forward. And this game I switched her, she had a perfect goal right to the corner. With her determination, her success really paid off at the end of the season. Congratulations, Antoinette. All right, the most valuable player award is always a hard one to give out. There are so many quality players on this team. But the one person who stood out to me on and off the field was our goalie, Sam Infuso. He was one of the hardest working girls on our team. Each practice, Sam would get her gear on slowly and get ready to her warm-up. Throughout the season, she knew exactly what she needed to improve on and would ask me to incorporate it in the next practice. Sam was a helping hand on and off the field. Keep up your hard work, Sam. Congratulations.
Thank you, Coach. At this time, halfway through the ceremony, I just want to take a few minutes to announce some of our all-league honorable mention or all-section or any special award winners. Give these folks a little extra recognition. And hopefully everyone, I think, understands out there that going to these meetings, they're very, very difficult to have, to get people to get awards. And every coach is fighting for his or her player. So we feel fortunate. We want to honor these folks in a little bit. So I'd like these folks to come up. When they call their name, Mr. Wood will hand out the award. And if they can just step onto the white line and be a little patient until we get everybody out of here. And we'll start with all-league honorable mention for girls tennis, Gabrielle Monaco. For girls volleyball, Erin Hurley. For girls volleyball, Serena Murphy. For cheerleading, Liberty team, Alyssa Tangretti. For girls soccer, Kristen Goltz. For girls soccer, Tara Regan. For girls soccer, Brooke Straley. For field hockey, Taylor Anderek. Jane Krishoni. Eva Fatakis. Morgan Leo. For cheerleading, Liberty team, first team, Jasmine DeCosmo. We're kind of shifting to the higher level awards here. For Liberty Team, the best cheerleader, Eliza Cintron. Our All-League Award winners. For girls volleyball, oh, just one little thing here about the girls and the plaques and the like. The plaques come without a nameplate. They have been ordered, so when they come in, we'll call the athletes down to the office, and we'll put the little sticky on the plaque. So just want a little editorial comment there. For girls volleyball, Leah Sullivan. For girls soccer, Selena Feliciano. For field hockey, Carly Corbett. For field hockey, Janelle Kennedy. For girls swimming, Michelle Kai. For girls cross country, Amelia Cuomo. Mallory Delanoy. Nina Jacobson. Rating Kowalski. Jamie McGuire. Ariana Portante. For boys cross country, Sean DeGarry. Michael Delfay. Eric Fedio. Maxwell Green. Kevin Hazelwood. Eric Jacobson. Louis Rio III. Now, before we move on, some sports, especially football, are still waiting for their all-league and all-section selection meetings, so we will figure out a way to properly place their names on the athletic website or our homepage to make sure that these young men get recognized. As we move forward, we're going to have some repeat performers, and I would like to just honor them, have them step out. In field hockey, all-elite honorable mention, Carly Corbett. For field hockey, the Golden Dozen Award winner, Janie Krishoni. All section, in boys cross country, Kevin Hazelwood. All Northern County, girls cross country, Mallory Delanoy. All Northern County, boys cross country, Sean DeGarry, Michael Delfay, Eric Fedio, Maxwell Green, Kevin Hazelwood, Eric Jacobson, Louis Rio III. And finally, our New York State Championship qualifier, this Saturday in Canton, New York, Kevin Hazelwood. Ladies and gentlemen, our major award winners all-league grand section for Brewster High School football 2014. Thank you very much. And as we begin our varsity program, Coach Scalia is going to kick it off. We'll change the program. He's going to talk about the girls cross-country program. Forgot to mention Coach Acquisto out there, right?
Okay, well, the girls cross country, come on up. Okay, welcome everybody to Sports Awards. I want to start by thanking all the members of administration, Dr. Castagnola, Mrs. Sullivan, Mr. Stack, and Dean Berardo for all their support this season. I want to thank our team parents and all my athletes for their exceptional dedication this year. I want to thank my assistant coach, Renee Acquisto, standing right next to me for all her efforts as well. We've been together coaching. She's been with me for 7 years. I specifically want to thank Mr. Stack. Mr. Stack attended many of our meets and cheered on our athletes, and as always, thank you, Mr. Stack, for doing that. Appreciate it. Yeah, clap that up. Since the end of June, the boys and the girls, we started our summer training program, had our group runs until the season began. All summer long, the majority of these girls were present and building in a nice base for the season. On September 20th this year, we had the 37th annual Brewster Bear Classic. It's one of the longest standing cross-country invitationals in New York State. We had over 25 teams and over 700 runners compete. I want to thank everyone who came out and helped support the team that year. It was a great, that day was a great day. This year we had a total of 18 girls on our team. This includes, what you're looking at in front of us is the boys, geez, that's no good. Sorry, the girls. JV and varsity teams together. We go to the same meets for the most part, and sometimes JV and varsity runs together. Other times, for varsity, you have to designate a top 7. So that's why when we get through these award ceremonies, we all go together. Most of the girls attended. I took our team to a 1-week overnight trip in Pennsylvania to train with some of the best runners in New York State, and the boys and the girls went as well. So Coach Acquisto will now announce the girls' JV and varsity team.
Thank you, Coach Scalia. Girls, when you hear your name, please step forward. Please hold your applause. 9th grade, Lauren Pratt. Elizabeth Kellenson. 10th grade, Amelia Cuomo. Alondra Diaz. Mary Heath. Reagan Kowalski. Aaron Lennon. 11th grade, Mallory Delanoy. Kim Herman. 12th grade, Carolyn Brandt. Julianne Cortina, Samantha Diaz, Nina Jacobson, Captain Jamie McGuire, Captain Ariana Portante, Captain Dylan Sherry, Captain Samantha Sherry, and Kara Schonfapper.
Our sport is unique in that most of our meets, we can run anywhere from 5 to 25 teams. We can run against 5 to 25 teams at a clip. All year long, the girls had top 5 team performances at big meets. They were 3rd at the league championship meet behind tremendous John Jay team and Fox Lane team. They were 2nd at the Washingtonville Invitational, 3rd at the Bear Classic, and 3rd at the Somers Invitational. They finished 5th place at the Northern County Championships, which features all the teams in Putnam and Dutchess, only a few points behind 3rd. On September 27th, we raced at the highly competitive Queensberry Invitational up near Lake George. There, the varsity girls finished 4th overall out of 27, beating several schools from the upstate area. We placed 6th in the section at the sectional championships out of 25 total teams in Class B. The girls group is a very close-knit group. We do lose 9 of our girls this year at graduation. I want to talk real quick about a couple of our captains who have been on the team for many, many years. All 4 of our team captains graduate this year. Captains Dylan Sherry and Samantha Sherry have had great success on the team for several years. Ariana Portante is a multiple all-league recipient. And Jamie McGuire, who has run varsity for 6 straight years since 7th grade, made the all-league team for the 6th straight year. So congratulations to our team captains. Along with Jamie and Ariana on the All-League team, we had 4 other girls who made the All-League team. I just want to highlight a couple of their accomplishments. Senior Nina Jacobson ran a season best of 20:58 for 5K at the league championships. Sophomore Amelia Cuomo, who significantly improved this year, ran very well in her final few meets. Also All-League was sophomore Reagan Kowalski, who ran a team best of 20:50 for 5K this year. Reagan has huge potential in this sport, and she had a very strong start to her career. Final All-League athlete was junior Mallory Delanoy, and Mallory was the team's top performer the last half of the season. So congratulations to our All-League athletes. Our All-Section Award meeting is not for next week, but based on the section leaderboard, Mallory Delanoy will make our All-Northern County Putnam Duchess team. She'll be honored at a Section 1 banquet at Colonial Terrace in Peekskill on December 9th. Congratulations, Mallory. A lot of improvements on the team this year, from our slowest runner to our fastest runner. We give everybody a shot on this team, regardless of ability. If you're willing to work hard, you'll find a place in the sport, and we're very happy with the progress and camaraderie of the girls' team. We have 2 awards to give out tonight. Our first is a Coaches Award. Our Coaches Award goes to one of our most improved athletes. Coaches always look for the athlete who really surprises. And she worked her way up to being our number 7 girl on varsity this year towards the end of the year. She improved her best 5K time this year by roughly 4 minutes since last year. She showed what I love about this sport. If you're willing to put in the time and effort, you will succeed. Had a consistent season and showed a true passion for the sport. Our most improved Coaches Award runner, whatever you want to call it, she's a good person, did great this year, Samantha Diaz. Our second is our team MVP. Goes to the team's top overall performer this year. She stepped up the intensity and focus of her training this year. Made it clear, a statement as our clear number 1 runner during the final half of the year. She's a very hard worker, tries to elicit the best in her teammates. This was actually her first ever cross-country season. She's done winter and spring track, but decided this year to join cross-country, which we're very happy about. Our MVP, junior Mallory Delanoy. Thank you.
Our next team is girls tennis. Coach was Daria Pascal.
Great. This is the first year I have to move the mic way down for volleyball. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for attending. Thank you to the administration. I don't know the last time when the tennis courts were resurfaced, and they're beautiful. We have unending pride now at Brewster for our tennis program because the facility is just magnificent. Thank you, taxpayers. Clap that. The 2014 girls varsity tennis team is, please hold your applause and girls step forward, Cynthia Baseman, Darcy Carlin, Ashley Coyago, Michaela Di Giovanni, Lauren Fitzgerald, Elizabeth Kim, Lauren Knorr, Linda Jaffa, Emma Longhurst, Gabrielle Monaco, Captain Cara Pizzarusso, Captain Emily Ricondo, Caitlin Wynn, and Elizabeth Wong. These, like all of the student athletes in the room, are incredibly hardworking athletes. The time commitment is immense, and the multitasking that they have to do is just totally noteworthy. I'm in awe of these girls. I don't think they sleep. The tennis team did have many challenges, as we are studying that word grit it applies to our season. We had 6 wins and 12 losses. Again, we don't really count that towards our success because success is intrinsic, and having new friends, being able to do new things on the court they weren't able to do before the season began was just a joy to behold. I do want to thank also, besides you parents, transportation again, and the grounds crew were just amazing to us throughout the season. One of the notable moments for us was a giving moment. This was our 3rd year for fundraising. We call it Hit for Hope. And in the fight against leukemia and lymphoma, the team raised $500. Two varsity seniors that had the best record and were invited to the conference tournament, please step forward, girls, with a 9-win, 9-loss record are Darcy and Evelyn. Very proud of these girls. Everywhere we went, we got compliments on our poise and our grace and our sportsmanship from all the other coaches. The season was very successful for our #1 singles, Gabby Monaco, who you already know, is honorable mention All-League. We had an amazing player, and I'd like to give out 2 awards now. Thanks, girls. Improvement to our rookie, who was totally crazy, because wherever we asked her to play, she was just a tennis animal on the court. She is a force to be reckoned with as a senior next year. Watch out. Caitlin.
Okay.
The next award is for an athlete that's been on the team for 4 years, and the intangibles are unending. She's a captain this year, and getting the uniforms, doing the spirit banner, doing everything we need her to do. I don't know what I'm going to do without this young lady. I wish her all the best for all the student athletes, seniors. Please help me recognize this amazing young lady, Cara Pizzarusso. As my captain reminds me, I'm so sorry. I had forgotten Helen Najar. Please step forward. It'll cost me some laughs this evening. Okay, very sorry. At this time, we have a 3rd award to an amazing athlete who is someone who has unyielding determination in facing any kind of difficulty. When we think about our word grit this year, I call her Ms. Grit. Anytime I have a bad moment or a bad day, I just think of this student athlete and I'm like, I don't have any problems, because if she can do it, then what's my problem? And so at this time, I would like to recognize this athlete for outstanding effort, inspirational achievement for her entire girls varsity career. This is coming from Conference 1, Section 1, and this award goes to Emily. A sheer delight. Thank you very much. And Camille?
Thank you, ladies. Our next team to be recognized is girls varsity volleyball with coach Miss Alicia Cavallo.
Good evening, welcome, and thank you. First, I'd like to thank you. Look around this beautiful gym. This was our home for the last couple of months. So I'd like to thank our administration for our support. I'd like to thank Mr. Olenius and his staff. They always made sure we had everything we need so that our bleachers were ready, our gym was ready, and everything was ready to go. First, I'm going to start by introducing each of the girls on the team. So if you would please step forward if you hold your applause until the end. First I have senior Tara DeTavio, junior Julianne Dingy, senior captain Erin Frankenberry, Jen Galladucci, Aaron Curley, Carrie Lyons, Deja Medina, Brandy Merkel, Serena Murphy, Captain Serena Murphy, I'm sorry, Gina Primavera, Gianna Pernesky, Kayla Sherry, Leah Sullivan, and Virginia Wheatley. These girls faced this season head-on, even with the difficult challenges that we faced. We had a conference and a league realignment. We cannot seem to get rid of John Jay or Yorktown coming back. So with that, we had a much more competitive league. We had a much more competitive schedule. We played 19 games this season in the tournament. We ended our season at 5-14. But again, that really doesn't demonstrate or illustrate the amount of work that truly went into every game. For the games that we lost, we played rally scoring. We lost by 2 or 3 points. We would lose sometimes in 5 games. And these girls refused to give up. So throughout the course of the season, they just continued to work to improve. And they really started to hit their stride by the end of the season, which was evident during our last home game when the coach from Yorktown approached us to tell us that even with some of the top teams that he had played in the section, teams that are still playing right now, we did not give up and we played one of the best defensive games against them. So there's something to be said for that motivation. There's something to be said for the fact that the last game of the season they refused to give up. Their refusal to give up was what got us a play-in round for sectionals. We ended up taking out the 16th seed really in 3 games in a dominating fashion. We faced revenge some of our previous losses to really over the years. And then we finished our season again with one final game against Yorktown. Over the course of the season, the girls participated in and they contributed towards what we call Volley for a Cure. It was our 5th annual Volley for a Cure event. They sold t-shirts, they had a bake sale. Thank you parents for contributing to some of those bake sale events. And ultimately we ended up raising over $1,000 to donate. That I have to give out tonight are 2 awards to 2 players who very often what we call flew under the radar. In volleyball, it can be very difficult depending on your position. Certain sports you are recognized based on your goals, based on the baskets that you score, the number of points that you score. In volleyball, sometimes the most important position is the one that doesn't have that many statistics. So over the course of the last few years, this player has been a very consistent part of our offense. Okay, she's consistently been the one getting the ball to where it needs to be. She's been consistently there every day, working hard, talking, communicating, and ultimately, again, over the course of the last 3 years, she's proved that she is definitely one of the most valuable players that we have on the team. So my team MVP award goes to senior setter Erin Curley. Most improved, or my coach's award, goes to a player who began the season never having played volleyball before. I went to the section meeting on Monday night and I had one of the coaches ask me, who was that player? I said, which player? Kind of feeling I knew exactly who she was referring to. She said, the one that crushed us during the last time we played you. She was this far over the net. I said, oh yeah, I know exactly who you're referring to. She came in every day. She had never played before, which for a junior to come out for varsity, never having played volleyball before, is an accomplishment in and of itself. And she worked tirelessly to make sure that she understood what she was doing, understood how she could improve, and just continues to not want to leave this gym. So my coach's award goes to junior Brandy Merkel. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Coach. Our next team Varsity cheerleading, Miss Caitlin Tooley.
I just want to start off by thanking everyone who makes this program a success, especially my parents. Without them, these girls wouldn't be what they are today, and I'm truly thankful that I get to work with them. And a very special thanks to Mr. Gerardo. He puts up with my constant requests and demands and 500 emails a day, but still keeps me around, so I'm very thankful to have his support. Looking at these girls, I mean, coaches come up and they talk about their stats and how many games they've won and this and that. And in cheerleading, that's something we don't really do until the winter. These girls come to practice 5 days a week. They practice 2 hours on a 2-minute and 30-second routine. A routine that consists of stunting, jumping, tumbling, basket, to cheer and a dance. And yes, it all gets squeezed into 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And that's what they do. They come and they perfect skills that they already know. They learn skills. They're advancing their skills. They get knocked around. They argue with each other. They fight. We bicker. And that's what we do pretty much every day, 5 days a week. But I wouldn't change it at all. This group of girls are some of the most hardworking girls I've ever met. I've never seen a team quite like this. The presence on the field during football games, the nerves that I usually get, haven't really been there. They have a way of performing and coming together as a group of girls. And they're finally getting the recognition that they deserve. If people don't follow the sport of cheerleading, it has officially become a sport in the state of New York, which is a great thing, a very great thing. Many people don't know that cheerleading is ranked the #1 most dangerous sport. And it's due to the fact of the contact, the things that they're asked to do, and they're doing it with no protective gear. The closest thing to protective gear they have are sneakers. So I just want to introduce these amazing ladies. Kimberly Azevedo, Micah Alexandre, Taylor Picheri, Miranda Capone, Captain Elena Citron, Eliza Citron, her sister, Elena Citron, Captain Ashley Conklin, Jasmine DeCosmo, Faith Dowling, Stephanie Luongo, Amanda Natolo, Rocco Hanlon, Sarah Alhouse, Captain Nikki Zarecchia, Taylor Simon, Alyssa Tangretti, and Julia Clark. Looking at these girls trying to pick 2 people to give awards is one of the most impossible things to do, because in this sport, cheerleading is probably the one sport where everyone has to contribute somehow in order to be successful. But when push comes to shove, there are always athletes that do shine. So starting with my MVP, choosing this person was extremely difficult because, like I just said, everyone is valuable on this team. Nothing functions unless they all function together, and that's the only way this team can be successful. But this athlete pushed herself harder and harder this year than I've ever seen. She asked for constant advice to better herself as an individual, and she never lets anything stop her. No getting kicked in the head, being thrown to the ground, bruised, bleeding, nothing. She always pulls through. Her heart shows in all she does. Most importantly, she's a team player. She sets an example that helps push herself and the team. She has really been a standout athlete from the day I've met her. Nothing will overcome her, and nothing will ever stand in her way. I know that she's out there to better the team and better herself as an individual, and this year's MVP goes to Stephanie Luongo. When an expected or what was planned in my book when the season started is a very difficult task. But in that task, they're either able to shine and step up, and that's exactly what this athlete did. She stepped up when she had to. She rose to the occasion, she pushed herself, worked to her limits, and never gave up. She took constant critiques, me yelling at her in high-pressure situations with ease. You could tell she wanted to prove herself, but most importantly, she wanted to be there for her team and never let them down. Looking at this athlete now, I'm amazed at the strides she has made. She has truly impressed me in 1 year. I always say that if you want to prove yourself and you think you deserve the spot you're in, to prove it. And it's exactly what she did, and I couldn't be prouder of what she has become as an individual and an athlete. This year's Coaches Award goes to Micah Alexander.
Thank you, ladies. Next up, our varsity football coaches Mulvihill, Cleary, Honey, Cunningham, and Stelacci. Good evening. While the team's still making their way out here, I'd just like to again thank our administration for all their support. Mr. Barraro's office, our varsity parents, they do a great job supporting us all season. I want to thank our Bear Den, you guys back here. We make the best fans in Section 1. That goes for a lot of the community, a lot of our games, we really appreciate it. I have great assistant coaches up here. These assistant coaches, they're all head coaches in other sports. And they could easily be the head coach in football. And after our last game, some of the offensive calls I made, they reminded me of that. Our JV team, again, a little congratulations, 7-0 for outstanding season. We'd like to continue that hard work. We'd like to see that on the varsity level. I want to thank our JV coaches again. They did a great job. And I am going to single out, tonight I'm going to single out Mr. Jerry Walsh. If you don't know, Jerry Walsh is retiring this season. Retiring this year. Jerry's not going to be coaching football for us anymore. That's going to be a huge hole in our staff and in our program. I coached 25 years ago with Jerry on the JV here at Brewster. And he taught me a great deal about coaching, about how to handle players, and how to be a successful coach. And I really appreciate everything Jerry's done for me over the years. The old saying, he's forgotten more football than some of you know. And that's true with Jerry. He's forgotten a lot of football, but because he's old is why he's... Seriously, the phys ed coach, they had to point to him where the gym was this afternoon. We're really going to miss Jerry. Jerry's an outstanding coach and a good friend. So we're going to have Coach Cleary now introduce the team. All right, guys, just step forward and we'll call your names.
Kevin Blank, Joe Bonadonna, Mike Carina, Brandon Cara, Kyle Catalano, Matt Catalano, Matt Chiera, Connor Dignan, Matt Gargano, Nicky Guardo, Joe Guida, Kevin Woe, Jared Hamill, Kyle Hansen, Jake Hay, our mid-season acquisition of Kevin Heinz, Ryan Honey, Kevin Kaufman, Nick Leahy, Jake Lowe, Jeremy Meisner, Ryan Milano, Jaden Milano, Taylor Muller, Jack O'Rourke, Nick Panucci, Joe Petrogallo, Evan File, Don Pintaval, John Rock, John Rojas, Alex Santoriello, Alex Souza, Nick Spanicchia, and Frankie Cavallone.
Our statistician, one of our statisticians, Katie DePaoli. Thank you, Katie. Stand up.
Great job. Pretty shy. Earlier this evening, I was over at our youth program. Our fifth grade team is playing actually in the finals this weekend over at West Point. They're very excited. We were talking about it for a few minutes. For me, it kind of brought things back together. Why are we playing sports? You got to see the eyes on these kids. They're so excited. And they're fifth graders. These were these guys 7 years ago. Okay, fifth graders. It's really important that we understand why sports are here. I think we get caught up a lot of times, especially at the varsity level, into wins and losses. Sports is going to teach us great things in high school. How to face adversity, how to prepare properly. Always give your best effort. These are things we want to take with us into life. And hopefully our boys are learning all those, and our girls are learning all those great skills that they can take with them. This year we were finished at 4-5, okay, 4 wins, 5 losses. And it was great to show, for example, our character. We had to come back and win our final 2 games of the season. And we did a great job beating 2 quality programs, Lakeland and Harrison. We couldn't have gone out better than the way they did. They really showed their character, and that was important for us. I do want to mention a couple individual accomplishments tonight. Our quarterback is a junior, he's a first-year quarterback. He threw for 1,700 yards, which is a school record. You have to throw to people. He threw to his brother, who also set the single season record over 700 yards receiving, Kyle Catalano. And the other player I want to mention is our tight end, who's the #1 receiving tight end in Section 1, just under 700 yards, Matt Gargano. Awards, we do want to step back, enough said. We do have 2 awards we'd like to give tonight, and they're awards. First one goes to a senior. He did not play much as a junior. And again, we talk about working hard and striving to get better. He did this. In football, it's tough. You practice all week, and there's only 1 game. You might not get in. And he still came out, worked hard every day. And this season, he found himself getting some playing time little by little. He played big parts in big games for us, and that's Nicky Guardo. The second award winner, again, another senior, junior year, didn't play much. Did everything he had to do to make himself better. We talk about making yourself better first, and that's going to make the team better. Came back faster, came back stronger. Was an instrumental part of our defense in the last 2 games. Kyle Hansen. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2014 Brewster varsity football team. Mr. Cigar can't even wait for me to call his name. He's excited. It's the second night out in a row this week. He's all pumped up. Second night in a row with a jacket on, so he's really pumped up. Girls varsity soccer, Mr. Emerson Cigar.
I actually was pushing because I saw the clock, and it said 10 o'clock, and I realized I changed my watch. It's actually 9, but I'll still keep it short for everybody. I have to be very proud of this team because we did not have the numbers that we expected to have at the beginning of the season. Most of the games that we played, we barely fielded the team, but we were able to compete with every single team that was out there. We gave Summers, who was Section 1 champions, a run for their money. And actually their coaches were very, very impressed with the talent that we have in our team. I'd like to introduce the team. Gina Arnold is not here today. She's a senior. Michaela Beatty, Step forward. Pauline Monaco. Angelica with a J, Ellsworth. Emily Espaillat. Selena Feliciano. Maria Giordano. Kristen Golf. Olivia Jaspers. Brooke Pagan, who's not here today, sorry. Caitlin Pastor, who's also not here today. Brianna Palekia. Tara Reagan. Brooke Stranley. And Tori Sedol. And to keep it short, I'd like to introduce the Coaches Award. The Coaches Award is going to go to someone in this team who was a leader, who kept the team together, and came to practice with a smile and made everyone feel comfortable in our team. This person is also a leader in the community and a leader in our school. Maria Giordano. The MVP award, it's really hard to give an MVP award when you're truly a team. Because everyone matters and everyone works hard in a team. But we do have one player who stepped up in several occasions more than others, and everyone can recognize that this player brought a lot to our team. Tara Reagan, you step up.
Our next team to be recognized is boys varsity soccer, and Mr. Scott Petruset.
Parents for all their support throughout the year, Coach Berardo as well. Just to name the players, you can step forward. Brandon Agugliero, Brent DiVittorio, Brendan Keane, Lucas Granados, Stuart Jaspers, Liam Kelly, Robert Levin, Brian McKee, Alberto Monges, Jonathan Palmieri, Marco Poljak, Kenny Orsinos, Christian Rivadiniera, Dan Rossi, Kevin Salguero, Martin Salgini, and Tommy Trainer. We had a tough season, as was kind of mentioned by some other teams, just because of the league realignment issues. We were talking before in the classroom saying that 50% of our games were played against teams that ended up in the section semifinals. Just kind of representing how strong our competition was this year and the level of play that was raised with our competition this year. The boys did a really good job of trying to bring it to them every single game. And we didn't have a Bears den, but we had kind of like a little Bears cave top corner this year. It was nice to see. Great to see the boys and girls supporting each other and all the teams that are here tonight. They showed consistent effort in the games, and with the number of seniors that will be players that will be returning as seniors next year, I have really high hopes for this group of players that they can rise up even further against the competition we play next year. I'd just like to also thank tonight here Daniel Graziano, who managed the team and did our stats for us. I think I saw him over there. Josue Guerra is here too. He was our team photographer. Not many teams can say they have a team photographer. For the awards tonight, for our most valuable player awards, first one, I'd like to give out to a player who showed great leadership qualities, outstanding leadership qualities, extremely reliable, hardworking, a highly respected member of the team, and I'm sure the school community in general. And when I was talking to my wife about writing this, I might be going too far, but she said, if our son would grow up to be like this boy, it'd be a great thing. And he started playing soccer again as a sophomore, and worked his way into getting a lot of playing time as a senior, and I just highly respected by me and the team member, Robert Levin. Another hard-working, reliable player, again, I think well-respected amongst his team members, willing to sacrifice the team, to play through injury the entire season, to show the dedication that you really look for in players as a coach, and his name is Stuart Jaspers.
Thank you very much. Our next varsity team, varsity girls field hockey, and Mr. Art Holtzman. While they're coming up, I'd like to thank Coach Berardo, Mr. Piltman, the grounds crew, transportation, and the support of administration, faculty, and staff here at Brewster High School. I'd also like to thank my parents, team, all the parents here who are very supportive, our athletes, and all the programs here at Brewster. I'd also like to thank Justin, our trainer, who unfortunately had to utilize his services on many occasions this year. Our girls are very competitive. I'd like to thank my assistant coach, my JV coach, Marie Robertus, for a great job that she did this year. And finally, I'd also like to thank my assistant coach, Cheryl Corbett, who helped me through my first season as varsity coach. She was a tremendous support for myself and the team. There's no way I would have been able to do this without her. Thank you. At this time, I'm going to introduce the team to you. Please step forward, ladies. Captain Taylor Andrak. Jackie Benvenuto, Brooke Busey, Teresa Beauty, Captain Carly Corbett, Janie Crichione, Ailish Erickson, Ava Patakis, Emily Fago, Gina Grasso, Janelle Kennedy, Amber Krish, Emma Lambert, who cannot be here tonight, Morgan Leo, Mary Kate Monaghan, Lindsay McLaughlin, Sam Napolitano, Kathleen Reagan, Captain Annika Roll, Dia Williams, and Angelina Schoenig, who cannot be here tonight. As with many of the other teams you heard tonight, we joined a new league this year, and we faced a very difficult schedule. However, the ladies played very hard, as Justin can attest to, and managed to stay in every game. Even though we had a sub-500 record this year, we were still invited to play in the Section 1 playoffs based on the difficulty of our schedule. All right, we also had a very successful pink game, where we raised over $400 for breast cancer awareness. And I'd also like to mention that along with our players that were mentioned by Coach Berardo before, our all-league and all-elite players, and Janie with the Golden Dozen, we also had 4 seniors
who were invited to play in the exceptional senior game on Saturday, November 15th at Ossining High School. They were Taylor Andrak, Carly Corbett, Janie Cristione, and Janelle Kennedy. In closing, I'd just like to say what a pleasure it is coaching the team this year and how much I look forward to coaching next year. I would like to wish the seniors the best of luck in their college years and beyond. I know from working with you this past year and in the past that you'll be very successful. Also, for the second year in a row, Brewster High School will be hosting the Section 1 Field Hockey Championships. They are being held tomorrow, starting with Class A schools at 3:30. Come out and see the best of Section 1 playing on our turf. At this time, I'd like to hand out my 2 awards. First, I would like to hand out the MVP. I'd like to give the MVP to the most outstanding defender that I've seen play all season. No other team had a player with such tremendous defensive skills and who played every minute in every game with such tenacity. This year's MVP is Janelle Kennedy. My next award goes to a player who could easily have been the MVP as well. However, her role on the team went well beyond the playing field. She's an outstanding, very talented midfielder and a leader on and off the field. To me, the recipient of this award is not only the most outstanding player, but also a role model that the younger players can look up to, and a player who the coaches can count on in every situation to help move the team forward. The Coaches Award this year goes to Carly Corbett. Thank you very much.
Our next team to be recognized is girls varsity swimming and Coach Dave Modzelewski.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Coach Dave. I've gone by many names throughout the season, but I'm most proud of the girls calling me Coach. I'm the head coach of the girls varsity swim team this year, and yes, to answer your question, Brewster High School does have a swim team, and it is made up of some of the highest quality student athletes around. To introduce them, Riley Anderson, Sarah Anderson, Kira Barrett, Eileen Cassidy, Katie Powley, Shannon Terrell, Caitlin Fury, Elizabeth Howell, Katie Howell, Sabrina Jacobson, Kaylee Coles, Ariel Lawler, Michaela Luby, Savomi Coley, Jordan Riolo, Jane Cinta, Alexandra Thompson, Rachel Thompson, Brianna Vaughn, Kelly Young, Captain Cassidy Speller, Captain Katie Nolan, Captain Allie Kaufman, and Captain Michelle Kine. Coach this year couldn't be here tonight. He's not feeling well, but I want to thank Dean for trusting and believing in Keith and myself with his girls swim team. Athletics was kind of in an emergency hire mode, but I would like to think that they got the best 2 coaches available. I'd also like to thank and congratulate Brittany Kozlenko, who most of you know as a science teacher here at Brewster. She's having twins, which gave me the opportunity to be here tonight. But enough of me making it sound like I'm winning the award. It's not about me, it's about all of you. I would have to say that in our very short season, my favorite week of the season would be the very first week. You're all practicing outside in the sun at Lakeside, and you're putting in a lot of effort in the pool to get back in shape after a long summer. And out of the pool to get to know each other, and the coaches. But I was there in spirit. I wrote all of their awesome practices, and I was enjoying my vacation in the Caribbean. It was an excellent first week of the season. Good job. But in all honesty, the whole season was a blast. From the mid-mornings at Lakeside to the late nights at New Fairfield, then back to really early mornings at Green Chimneys. I really got to see all the different personalities that high school and middle school females have to offer. And parents I commend you. Coming into a brand new season with a brand new school and coaching, being the head coach for a girls team for the very first time, I had no idea what to expect. I'm a very competitive person, and my initial thought at the beginning of the season was to put the best lineup forward every single meet, no matter what, because this is a varsity sport. But the defining moment was after our very first meet, when I realized what kind of team we had. I told them all that we had a slight chance to win. I may have said we probably could win. They believed me, they shouldn't have. It was a very tough loss, but I was expecting the bus ride home afterwards to be somber, quiet, kind of disappointing that we lost our first meet. So I prepared a cheer-up speech for them just in case, and I was glad that I didn't have to use it, because the whole way home was a concert slash dance party slash whatever you want to call it. It had the highest spirits, the longest smiles, and even included some 7th graders rapping to songs that I've never heard before. And from that point on, Coach Keith and I figured out very quickly that as long as we had fun, we could make all of them happy. To overview our season briefly in terms of wins and losses, I'm not going to. We were in a new conference, in a new league, like all the other sports mentioned. Our league actually had some of the best teams in the state. 2 of them are top 3, if not top 5. But we had something that none of them had, and that was team spirit. No matter the outcome of any race, any meet, any practice, every one of our swimmers acted with sportsmanship, pride, grace, and always offered encouraging words and high fives to our swimmers and the other team swimmers. After our 3rd and 4th meets, which were against Horace Greeley and Foxland, yes, swim meets, not games, matches, it's meets. But against Horace Greeley and Fox Lane, the swimmers, the parents, and even the officials at the meet kind of knew that we didn't have much chance of winning. Or even coming close. But yet I was praised by the officials afterwards for how well our girls swam, cheered, and acted graciously toward the other team after exhausting swims. In the words of one of our swimmers, I told her I wouldn't say this and I wouldn't mention her name, so here or there, I'm sorry. Swimming may be a fall sport, but sportsmanship is a year-round sport. Woo! She also threatened to leave the team if I said that. But through our short season, our exhausting swims, I have 2 awards to give out tonight. First award, the MVP award. The swimmer scored the most points for us this year. She was ready to swim a race whenever I needed her to. She was our only individual Section 1 qualifier, and she was selected as our all-league selection. She was also the only swimmer that I knew before the season started. When I saw her name on the list, I thought, oh, thank goodness I know at least one of them, because our assistant coach knows just about all of them. And I was coming in very blind. I coached her when she was 12, and I'm sure she was thrilled when she knew that I was coming back. So our MVP this year goes to Michelle Todd. and I deliberated on this for quite a while. The swimmer was the voice of the team. She led every cheer and every meet. She helped organize all of our fundraisers, bake sales, and she helped head up a swim-a-thon every day, which raised money. And we were able to make a $500 donation to the Susan G. Komen Breast Cancer Research Foundation. She is a leader on and off the field, or in this case, in and out of the water, and will always be a great leader in her future endeavors. Our Coaches Award this season goes to, and no, this message is not sent from my iPad. Cassidy Spiller. Varsity girls football.
Our next team, varsity boys, cross country, Coach Scalia. Coach Brewster coming.
All right, the same thank yous as before, so I know it's been a long night. I won't go through those again. But we did have a total of 32 boys on our varsity and JV teams this season. You know, like I said with the girls, your top 7 boys run varsity, all others run JV. And most of our boys here attended our week-long camp in Pennsylvania and our summer training program over the summer. Coach Acquisto will now announce our boys team.
Thank you, Coach Scalia. Freshman Connor Bailey, Nicholas DiDio, Christian Hernandez, William Ford, Tim Holler, Eric Jacobson, Fernando Mora, Eric Wachowski, Nathan Whitney, Asa Wong. Sophomore Steve Castellano, Nico Della Valle, Jason McGuire, Tim Nielsen, Ricardo Perez, Luca Riolo, juniors Ethan Pedrosian, Mike Delphi, Eric Gordon, Max Green, Kevin Hazelwood, Zach Nordstrom, seniors Sean DeGarry, Captain Eric Fideo, Nick Francis, Colin Holler, John Imore, Dom Tallarico, Captain James Trabaco, Brett Weiss, Joan Young, Chris Cesaro.
Last year we ended up with a really good season, and we brought back, we only graduated one of our top 7 boys last year, so we knew the season would be a good one. During the preseason rankings, we were ranked number 6 in the state, and we knew we could have a real good season, special season, if we put in the work over the summer and followed the training plans, and we did. We won a lot of meets early on in the season. Now, like I said with the girls, we race, you know, anywhere from 5 teams in a race up to 25 teams in a race. So technically, if you win an invitational against 20 teams, you really go 20-0 against other varsity teams. Put together an interesting stat. Through the first 5 meets of the year, we won the Queensbury Invitational up at Lake George against some really good teams. We won the Brewster Bear Classic, the Section 1 Mega Dual Meet, the Somers Invitational, the Washingtonville Invitational, and we were once again league champions. Now, at that point, midway through the season, we had 54 wins and 0 losses against other varsity teams. So, congratulations. It wasn't all party, though. Our ultimate goal this year was to win a section title, and we've been working towards it. We fell short. We had a really a tough day, at team day at sectionals. We had it in us. We had the blueprint for how to get it done, but you know, like sports, sometimes things just don't go your way, and we just didn't have it that day. You know, it taught our athletes, you know, life lessons about how to bounce back from adversity and setbacks. So we'll get through it. It just happened a couple days ago, so it's still kind of fresh in all of our minds. But at sectionals, junior Caitlin Hazelwood qualified for the New York State Cross Country Championships. Kevin actually leaves tomorrow to go for the state meet. Congratulations. We do bring back 8 of our top 10 runners next year as well, so we're real excited about the continuation of the success of the team. For the first time in school history, all 7 of our boys were all league. That's the first time that's ever happened. Congratulations again. I want to briefly highlight a few of actually all of our athletes and talk real quick about a couple of their key moments. All of these that I mentioned are all league athletes. Freshman Eric Jacobson was one of the section's best 9th graders. He actually had the 2nd fastest time in all of Section 1 this year for a freshman. Season best of 17:17 for 5K. Sophomore Luca Riolo was a top 5 scorer in most meets this year. Ran a personal best of 17:07 for 5K. Junior Mike Delphi had a great year last year, another solid start to this year. Ran some very strong races as our number 2 runner. Ran a personal best of 16:32 for 5K. Max Green saved his best for the county championships at Bowden Park and a personal best at that course. Senior Sean DeGarry had a very consistent season. He's been in our top 5 for 4 years. Senior team captain Eric Fedio. Anybody that knows Eric, he's the most passionate and emotional person, sometimes to a fault. But he's the catalyst for firing the group up at practices and meets. He's done so for years, and his energy will be missed this season. Had a season best of 16:53 for 5K. Last but not least is junior Kevin Hazelwood. Kevin was the team's top runner all year long, had a tremendous season that's still hopefully going on for another few weeks. I'll talk about that in a minute. He ran a personal best of 15:42 for 5K. What that really is, that's an average of 5 minutes and 3 seconds per mile for 3 miles. All 7 of our boys mentioned will make the All Putnam Dutchess, All Northern County team. There's going to be a dinner on December 9th. Also, Brett Weiss and Zach Nordstrom cracked in our top 7 throughout the year, and they actually met the criteria for All League, but the section says we can only take the top 7. So sadly, they had times that qualified for All League as well, and had a great season. Before I hand out awards, I want to say that we graduate 10 seniors from the boys and girls team who have been part of the program since 7th grade. That's a lot. We have a lot of seniors graduating. It's bittersweet. You're going to move on to college next year, and you run your last cross-country race at Brewster. I'm proud of you guys, watching you grow up into responsible young adults. What I really love about this sport is the development of the runners from the beginning of the season to the end, how the confidence grows, whether it be the fastest or slowest kid on the team. Everyone who followed the program, showed up every day, felt good about themselves, and that's very important. There's no better feeling when you put in the work and you see the energy, heart, and emotion on race day. Like I said with the girls, the team's a family and it's a special group. We have 2 awards to give out tonight. Our first is a coach's award. It goes to a very gutsy young distance runner who's one of the team's top runners this year. I said before, he finished this year as the 2nd best freshman in all of Section 1. He ran his best races at the most important times later in the year. He has all the makings of becoming our next stud distance runner. He's very mentally tough, which is critical in cross country. He's a wonderful teammate. A great story about this person is at our state qualifier meet, one of our runners had a really tough day, didn't run well. And he said, Coach Scalia, listen, he said, when you go to the all-county meeting, if it's between me and him for all-county, put him on it. And I thought that was a really good gesture and shows how good character he has. So our coach's award goes to freshman Eric Jacobson. Okay, our team MVP. At team's fastest 5K in 15:42. He ran 16:33 at Bowden Park, which is one of the most challenging courses in the state, which ranks him 38th all-time in Section 1 history, 3rd all-time in Brewster history. He won several big meets this year, the Section 1 Mega Duel, the Brewster Bear Classic, and the Northern County Championships. He was a force to be reckoned with all year. To get to the next level in cross country, you have to be willing to withstand, more pain really than anybody else, and get into sort of like a mental zone, and he really does it. He's running the state championships on Saturday. He actually leaves tomorrow. The state championships are in Canton. When I look for hotels, I could only find hotels in Canada. So it may be snowing up there on Saturday. He's ranked 13th in the state. With the workouts we've done this week, I think he could finish in the top 10 and move on to the Federation meet, which is the best of the best, in 2 weeks. So Team MVP, Junior Kevin Hazelwood. Congratulations to all the athletes tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for all that you do for our athletes, and have a great evening. Congratulations.